My hands still trembled sometimes, hours later. Not from pushing the heavy cleaning cart. No. It was a different kind of shake. The kind that settles deep in your bones. The kind that comes after someone rips a piece of your dignity away. I was a hotel maid. Just a maid, some people thought. But for me it was everything. It was food for my daughter Lily. It was the roof over our heads. A tiny leaky roof, but ours. So, I smiled. I scrubbed. I tried to be invisible. Most days I was. But not that day. Her name was Mrs. Albright. She dripped with jewels and disdain. Her voice was sharp, like broken glass. I was cleaning her suite, the penthouse. I was always extra careful in the big suites. She came in early, finding me still there. "You, what are you still doing here?" she snapped. I tried to explain. "I'm almost finished, ma'am." She waved a dismissive hand. "You maids are all the same, slow and useless." My face burned, but I kept my eyes down. "I'm sorry, ma'am, I'll hurry." Then, she shrieked. "My diamond earring, it's gone. You took it." My heart stopped. "No ma'am, I wouldn't, I swear." My voice was a tiny thread. She advanced on me, her face twisted with rage. "Don't lie to me, you thief. I know you're kind." She yelled, and yelled. Words I can't repeat. Words that made me feel smaller than dust. Other guests peeked out of their doors. Staff members hurried past, avoiding eye contact. No one helped. I stood there, taking it. Tears pricked my eyes, but I wouldn't let them fall. Not in front of her. Finally her husband came. He found the earring. It was tangled in her scarf, on the bed. Where she slept, tossed it. She didn't apologize. She just glared at me. "Well, don't just stand there, get out." I fled. My supervisor, Mr. Henderson, saw my face. "What happened, Maria?" he asked, his voice stern. I told him, my voice shaking now. He sighed. "Mrs. Albright is a very important guest, Maria. We can't afford to upset her." He didn't say I was in trouble. But he didn't say I wasn't. The fear was a cold knot in my stomach. Losing this job? I couldn't even think about it. Lily needed me. The next few days were a blur of anxiety. Every footstep behind me made me jump. Every call to Mr. Henderson's office made my heart pound. I cleaned with robotic precision. My smile felt plastered on. Then, a buzz went through the hotel. A VIP was arriving. A very, very famous actor. The kind you only see in movies. Security was tighter. Staff meetings were held. "Discretion is key," Mr. Henderson told us. "No photos, no autographs. Treat him like any other guest, but with utmost respect." I just hoped I wouldn't be assigned his floor. My nerves were already frayed. Of course I was. The universe has a funny sense of humor, doesn't it? I was assigned the entire floor where he was staying, his suite, and the ones around it. The penthouse suite. The same one Mrs. Albright had been in. It had been deep cleaned after her departure, thank goodness. I tried to be calm. "It's just a room," I told myself. "Just another guest." But my hands were clammy. When I entered his suite for the first time, it was quiet. Empty. It was large but not as fussy as Mrs. Albright's. There were guitars in a corner, books piled on a table. It felt lived-in human. I cleaned carefully, quietly. My mind kept replaying Mrs. Albright's hateful words. The shame still clung to me like a second skin. I wondered if this famous actor was kind, or if all wealthy, famous people were like her. I finished the bathroom, then moved to the bedroom. Made the bed with fresh linens. Dusted the surfaces. My eyes scanned for anything out of place, anything needing extra attention. Then I saw it. On the bedside table, next to a worn leather-bound book. A small, folded piece of hotel stationery. My name, Maria, was written on it. In a distinctive, elegant handwriting. My heart leaped into my throat. Was it a complaint? Had I done something wrong, missed something? My hands trembled as I reached for it. The same trembling from that awful day. I unfolded the note. The writing inside was the same, clear, a little slanted. It wasn't long, just a few sentences. It read, "Maria, I was in the suite next door a few days ago. I couldn't help but overhear what happened with the guest. I saw how you handled yourself, with so much dignity. Please know, some people see, some people understand. Your quiet strength did not go unnoticed. You are valued. Don't let anyone make you feel otherwise. Keep shining. A friend, Johnny D." Johnny D. My mind raced. Johnny Depp? The famous actor? He heard? He saw? Tears welled in my eyes. The ones I had held back that day with Mrs. Albright. They streamed down my face. Not tears of shame or fear. These were tears of relief. Of being seen. Of being understood. Someone had seen my humiliation. And instead of judging me, or ignoring me, he had offered kindness. He called me strong, dignified. Me, Maria, the maid. I sank onto the edge of the plush visitor's chair, the note clutched in my hand. I cried. I cried for the unfairness of it all. I cried for the kindness of a stranger. A world-famous stranger. It was like a balm on a raw wound. His words were simple, but they meant everything. They told me I wasn't invisible. My feelings mattered. My dignity was still intact. I must have sat there for a few minutes. Wiping my eyes, I carefully refolded the note. I tucked it into my pocket, over my heart. As I was about to leave the suite, I noticed something else on the table. Underneath the book he'd been reading. A thick envelope. Also with Maria written on it. My breath hitched. Slowly I picked it up. It was heavy. Inside, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was money. A lot of money. More money than I earned in months. And another smaller note. For Lily, and for you, because kindness should be rewarded. JD. This time I sobbed. Openly, freely. Not just tears of relief, but tears of overwhelming gratitude. He didn't just see me, he cared. He cared about me, and my daughter Lily, whom he didn't even know. How could he know about Lily? Then I remembered. A few days ago, during a quiet moment cleaning another room on this floor, I was on a quick call with Lily. She was telling me about a school project she needed art supplies for. I was telling her try to get them soon. The door to the suite next to me, his suite, had been slightly ajar. He must have overheard that too. He hadn't just heard the bad, he'd heard the everyday too. The struggles of a mother. I finished my shift that day in a daze. A wonderful, hopeful daze. The fear was gone. Replaced by a warm glow. The next morning, I went to work with a lighter step. Mr. Henderson called me into his office. My stomach did a little flip. Old habits die hard. But his expression was different. He looked apologetic. "Maria," he began, "I need to apologize." I blinked, surprised. "Mr. Depp spoke with me yesterday evening," he continued. "He told me what he witnessed with Mrs. Albright. He was very clear about his displeasure with how she treated you, and how the situation was initially handled by the hotel." My eyes widened. Mr. Henderson shifted uncomfortably. "He also spoke very highly of you, your professionalism, your grace under pressure." He paused. "Mrs. Albright has been informed that her behavior was unacceptable. She will not be staying with us again if there are any further incidents of disrespect towards our staff." It wasn't exactly her being banned, but it was something. It was an acknowledgement. "And Maria," Mr. Henderson said, his voice softer, "Mr. Depp also left a recommendation for you. A personal one. He suggested we recognize your excellent service." He smiled, a genuine smile. "So we'd like to offer you a promotion, assistant supervisor for your floor, with a raise, if you're interested." A promotion? A raise? It felt like a dream. All because a famous man took the time. Not just to be kind with words and a gift. But to act, to speak up. He used his influence not for himself, but for someone like me. Someone he didn't even know. I accepted the promotion, of course. Life didn't magically become perfect. But it became better. So much better. The extra money meant I didn't have to worry constantly. I could buy Lily those art supplies, and more. I could fix the leaky roof. The respect from my colleagues grew. But more than that, the note, and what followed, changed something inside me. I stood taller. I found my voice. I remembered I was more than just a maid. I was Maria. I had dignity. I had strength. And sometimes in the most unexpected places, from the most unexpected people, kindness shines through. Johnny Depp never sought thanks. He checked out quietly a few days later. I never got to thank him in person. But I kept his note. I read it sometimes, when the world feels a little dark. It reminds me that even in the midst of ugliness, there is goodness. It reminds me that one person's kindness can change a life. It changed mine. And it all started with a mean guest and a quiet actor who saw more than just a maid. He saw a human being, and that made all the difference. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, please give this video a like. Leave a comment below if you've ever experienced unexpected kindness. Subscribe for more true stories, and share this video with someone who might need a little hope today. You never know whose life you might touch.